I welcome you all to our Certified DevOps Engineer free live training program. This is our roadmap, and according to it, we have completed Day 1 Linux for DevOps, Day 2 ABCs of DevOps, Day 3 version control system. And today we are going to level up our game, Software Automation Orchestrator. I want to take a moment to talk about our training and development opportunities. For those of you tuning in later, don't forget to mark your calendar for our next free live training session. More details will be available soon. And we have also changed our training registration process. Instead of QR code, there is a direct link in the description or comment section right below the title of this video once it is uploaded like this. So this is our day first part 3 video, and here we already have this link over here. So here is a quick look at our training registration form looks like, and as you can see, it's straightforward and easy to fill out. Just click on the link to get started. Additionally, I must emphasize that our training is entirely free and we'll never ask for any payment or any fees. Please be vigilant and avoid any request for payment claimed to be associated with our program. If you encountered such requests, report them to us. Thank you very much. And I also want to personally acknowledge and thank each and every one of you for your love, your support, your participation, your enthusiasm truly make this session special and rewarding. It's your energy and commitment that inspire us to continue providing this valuable training opportunity. Last thing on this note, so all these are our social media link which are now ready, so feel free to join. What we will cover today, let's see. So this is our overall agenda for this day 4. We have given our each section or each part theme, the warrior, gladiator, champions and titan. I discussed this in very detail in previous section, and today's theme is gladiators. In this, our complete focus on how this distributed system or distributed architecture of the Jenkins, how this is set up, how Jenkins actually distributes all these jobs to slave. So let's go ahead and see. So first thing first was distributedness. So let's go back on the system where we first time we install Jenkins. So it perform schedule, build, execute the builds, monitor the builds and or jobs, and it also records and present build results and so many other stuff it is done. When we add one more machine, so controller will decide should I schedule or not, or these tasks are schedulable or not. So it schedule this task on agent. Let's say this is agent 1. When we add more machine, then Jenkins work in a different way because now it has more capacity. So similarly, it also perform the same thing for when we have more machines, but it is decided by the Jenkins. And so all the agents, once they are done with their work, they report back all their work to the controller machine, and in how it knows which agent should it contact to. Or we set up labels, so Jenkins knows this, and when we set up a pipeline or maybe freestyle job, we provide this labels to use this particular machine. So next question on this, in this kind of setup, do we really need to go on each and every machine and install Jenkins on each machine? In order to make any machine as an agent, we only need a Java on this. So that's what we do in distributed. So now you know what distributed means, and this is your distributed build architecture. Now it's time to see how Jenkins distributed magic happen. We will go to the console of the Jenkins and we will set up this step by step. So for that, let me quickly show you a very simple setup, right? So was our configuration, and here we set up the GitHub repository. Let me zoom it more so easier to see. So this here our GitHub repository, right? We configure the branch configure, then here we have one option, it says build step, and so when you don't have this, here there is an option, you can say execute a shell. In case of Windows, you have this one, and these are other as well, but this box which is over here, so I selected this one, execute shell. So this is similar what commands you type on Linux machine. So similarly you can do over here. So we did maven compile test packaging, then we check what happened and also target, and then we move the generated WAV file at this location. Okay, this was we have done last time. Let me leave this, and today it's time to set up distributed. For distributed, here is the option manage Jenkins. You also have this option from over here, manage Jenkins, however you prefer. So manage Jenkins, and there is option over here in this section, right? This is our first section, system configuration, right? So in this we'll come on this as well, but here we are interested in node. It says add remove control, monitor the various nodes that run Jenkins job. So here we can see on this side, if we come on this part, we have two choices, one nodes, another one is clouds. What nodes it means? So nodes means whatever is your static configuration of the system comes under the your node category. Here build node, it's a permanent, right? It is not temporary, where we install the Jenkins initially. Here when we click on built-in node and configuration, here I'm talking about our built-in node, the controller node, Jenkins controller itself, where we install the Jenkins. In the configuration we have number of executors. So how many parallel things or threads can be in Java, it is called thread, or simply we could say how many processes or how many builds you can do simultaneously. So yes, by default it says true. And I was talking about the labels, agent 1 2 3. So here by default there is no label, because when you install first time, so we don't need label. So when there is no label, it means by default it will execute. And another thing, it says uses. So when I was telling you about how Jenkins scheduled the build, if there is no label and we say use this node as much as possible, then depending on the existing situation of the workload, Jenkins decide where to schedule the job. But if I say no, only build job with the label expression matching this node. So let's say this is the master, not the master controller. But I'm lazy to type controller. I need to type more words, so I'm fine with master. Okay, only job with the label matching the expression. That's fine. Leave this as empty. I said save, and if I go back and now if I execute this one, let's see what happened. So it says Jenkins is reserved for jobs with matching label expression. So it is not failed, but it is in pending state. So it is trying to find, I mean, Jenkins controller itself. So we did not add any of the additional machine with this or any agent with this installation or with this controller machine. So, but it's Jenkins has to perform its job. There is no workload at all, but because we restricted, so Jenkins is waiting. It is reserved. That's why. And if we go back again on the nodes and I simply click on this time, and if I say use this node as much as possible, even the label is there, so you can see what it says. Yeah, that's completely fine. That was happened last time, and I already posted in the WhatsApp group what is the solution. I will also show today as well. No worries. We are not concerning about why job has failed. We more concerning about job to be scheduled, and it was scheduled even though the label was there. So Jenkins has decided, because we provided this option, right? This time let's go from over here, then configuration, and we said use this option, right? Out of this we said use this node as much as possible. So don't ever be confused in interview. Yes, I asked this question several times. I asked this question, I have labeled this and this. So what happened? Jenkins will schedule the job. And if you really don't know, right, or you didn't come across any situation, when we learn or when we start, it happens sometimes. Interviewer got paranoid like me and asked crazy questions. So we should be prepared for that kind of thing, right? So don't just think we have to put number of executor 3 4 5, we have to put label and we have to say okay build only and we are done with the configuration. No man, not, it's not like that. We don't do things in that way here. Okay, pay attention to everything. So let's keep it as is, master, and only builds job with the level expression matching this, and I said apply. So this is done over here. For timing, this information which I shared with you, it's sufficient, and now we want to add one more system with this. So before I go ahead, I want to ask you one thing. Do you have further question on this? Any questions? The configuration I just show you over here. Okay, great. So let's go back and add a new node. So for that we have option new node, but before that I will also show you, maybe You guys are curious what is in cloud, so let's first see this. Right, so for cloud, it asks us to install the plugins. Okay, and if I go over here, so you can see directly all the cloud providers, it has automatically selected over here. So you have to select plugin and install the plugin, and once you install the plugin, then you will be able to see more information on this page. Okay, let's say if you install Docker plugin, then you will see the further configuration, right? So let me go back, manage Jenkins nodes, and yes, we are gonna add. So we will click on this button, this side, new node, and here I'm gonna give a name. So let me simple give a name agent-1, and here you can see the option. It says type permanent. We do not have any other choice because these nodes are for this purpose. So I don't know what is your use case, but definitely you will come across some use cases where you need permanent agent. But one of the my project what I used before, so of course I don't want job to be run on master or controller node, so I added permanent node, and on permanent node calling the additional worker. That is possible, we can do that, but that's still depends on what is your use case. If your use case is more dynamic or runtime or on-demand agents, go ahead with the cloud one. But we are going to see only permanent node. That's why I have selected this node, new node, and it says permanent. I have to select it. Okay, and here I can say agent one as a description. You can give a good description where you can quickly read, like after 1 year when you come back, so you remember, okay, I did this configuration, or maybe you could put a ticket number or whatever. That will give you a reference when you come back in future, what you have done here or what who has done before, like that. And here we have a number of executor. So again, it's a very arguable thing, how many number of executors we should keep over here. Should we keep 1,000, should we keep 100, or some based on the number of virtual CPUs? But in my experience, I personally not come across where it is really, or it can be a kind of thumb rule. Okay, you have 3 CPUs, put 3 executor. No. So better way is to, yes, go ahead with this. When you have this monitoring setup, tools are there, analyze their analytics, what happened, how much percentage of CPU used, RAM used, hard drive used, net IOPS used, and based on that fine tune. Or if you are joining a team as a junior engineer, junior DevOps engineer, seek advice from your team lead, you those who are already senior. But most likely when you join, you will get a already set up Jenkins there. Then we have another thing, it says remote root directory. So here, don't be confused with the root directory. Here it is asking, maybe if you click on this, you get more information. So too much information, I really don't want to read it. When you do your own, go ahead and read all this information. Or in short, here we need a directory, right, that can be anywhere on the remote server. Okay, and that remote server where this Jenkins will put the data on. Okay, that's why we need something. So let's say /home Jenkins, and as I said, it's this Jenkins is already execute all the tasks with the privilege of Jenkins user. So on remote server it is good, and you also have a user there, right, Jenkins user. Otherwise then you have to manage the permissions. Of course you would have to manage if Linux stream is not there. So better one, create one user, non-admin user on the remote server Jenkins. And here when you create a user, we discussed this in our Linux section, right, why this home directory is over here, right? So we will get this one, we can do. And here I can say agent, agent1, and it's, see, now again we have the same option, use this node as much as possible. So let's say not put the label at the moment, we use this node as much as possible. Then here next we have launch agent by connecting it to the controller. It is not saying master. Okay, so you can see here, depending on the controller or the plugins you have, right, or what your setup. So when we installed last time, I told, okay, we are not going to install any plugin. We did configuration by selecting none, not the default configuration. That's why it is not showing us anything over here. So now we need some plugin, right? So we can do the SSH, we'll do that. then it says keep this agent online as much as possible. So again, there are further choice: bring this agent online when in demand, maintain offline when idle or something. If you need to do some management or you have some maintenance work, these options are helpful. So I go ahead and leave this configuration as is, right? I have given a name, agent 1, description, number of executor is 1. This is the home directory level. I have left it empty. I leave it empty and uses okay. Then method is this one. So at the moment we have only one option. We want to do it in SSH way instead of in this way. So first let's see what is this one. When I save, then I have this, it says offline. When I click on this, it has given me so many ways by which I can connect. So run from agent command line Unix, all this thing. Copy this, paste this command to your remote server or the another server you want that to be as an agent of this, right? So that's one way. I'm not gonna take this path. I will do something else. So I showed you, if you want to explore, go ahead and do this. So I'm not saying it is not good way. Sometimes it is possible you need to go in this direction instead of going Jenkins will go and talk to the remote. So instead of that, we are doing the setup. So we are asking external or remote server to connect with the controller. So that's what this option is saying. But I'm not gonna do that, right? Instead, I will do something else. So for that, I need a plugin, right? So now in our list, we have another plugin. So here we need to check Jenkins SSH, or maybe SSH agent. Let me see. No, we don't want this one. Then SSH build agent, I believe this one. Yes. So we are interested in this one, SSH build this one. Okay. So you need to check, go and read about the what documentation says. So I don't want this one. My use case is something different. Okay. Of course, this is also you need if you want, and how you can use it, you can see over here. But this is not our what we are looking for, right? And we are looking for SSH build agent. I said install. Click on this. Right. You can see changes happen. Yeah, it's done already. So the screen is not okay. Security. So 3. Okay, fine. So our plugin is installed SSH. So where is SSH? Build agent plugin. It's right over here, and it says like this. If you want to uninstall, right, you can do this. If you want to disable, do this way. Now I will go back over here, manage Jenkins, and this is option node. And now I'll go back again over here, configuration. And now if I see, so before we did not have this option, right? So now we have added SSH plugin. So we enhance the Jenkins capability, launch agent via SSH. So host is already there, right? So I have this one, let's say host name. So this is my Jenkins, where Jenkins is running. Okay, I have another one, and like this, if I say host name, so it's agent 1 dsoc3.local. Okay, I copy this, I come back over here, let me put the name. Okay, then it asks me for the credential. Completely fine. Okay, fair enough, because it needs, we are going ahead with this. But let me first save and apply, and let's see what. So when you are working on this, guys, yes, of course I will explain you. It will take a bit of time, right? Why? Because when you will be doing it, so you know what you need to do, what means what. So it says offline, but this one, so if you don't click on this one, right? So let's first click on this. So what is it? It has launched, but there was some error on this. Okay, and you can also additionally do, like, after editing the things, you can also click on this, and okay, you're getting this many errors. Okay, it says interruption, validation, configuration, and it says selected credential cannot be found, this one. So we did not select actually any credentials, so we have to provide a credential first. So for that, again, I can go to the configuration, right? And here I have an option credentials. So if you have existing credential, you can select from over here. You can click on this. Additionally, one second, I will also show you. In case if you have to prepare beforehand, right? So manage Jenkins, and here, where is this credentials? Yeah, right. So this will come over here. So let's see, first create. So let me create, and here what you have to select. Here there is a global scope. Always remember, when you have this domain, if you are creating any credential that will be used across all the pipelines, all the projects, or everything, go ahead with do that, right? Otherwise, you have, if you have some other, right, so maybe you want to restrict up to one project, then you need to select the project. So at the moment we do not have anything. We have also other options: secret file, secret text. Yes, we will use those in further configuration, but right now we are good with SSH username with private key. Okay, and I'm not going to use this private key, so no harm, I can show you, and then later I will delete it, right? Then of course scope we talk about, I could say agent one and dash id. Why id? Because when you give the same name, you will not be able to recall what you have done what, because sometimes you really don't need, you just call this id, right? So when you have initially, right, when you are starting, it is good practice to keep this as is, so you will remember when you call id, so you know, okay, this is my agent one id, I am not calling password. Okay, so that's why. And of course it's our agent one description, so I as is. Let's copy paste this, and my username is Jenkins, because on remote server this will be executed also as a Jenkins, so it will execute seamlessly without any problem. Okay, if you don't want to share, you can also keep your Jenkins as a secret. Now it asks me for the enter directly the private key. So far, if I go on my remote server on this, let me see, I do not have any user first. So what I will do, first I will create a user, right? And to create a user, I will say sudo, then user add dash m dash s slash bin, and then slash bash or sh. I'm fine with, because I don't want to mess up with. I explain all these options in part 3, so I'm not gonna do it again. Okay, so but yes, we are adding user and providing this shell. We are also asking Ubuntu to create a home directory. So sudo user add dash m dash s bin bash, and then Jenkins. It asks me for my password. Okay, Jenkins is already existing. Then why don't we have home directory? Anyways, no worries, let's see. Sudo, okay, so one moment guys, on this machine. Ooh, okay, let me just this command here. Interesting. So let me first stop this one. So I'm sorry, not stops, it is not plural, it's a stop. Now Jenkins is disabled, and I can still see it. Yes, that's fine. Now I'm gonna remove this quickly. Sudo apt remove dash dash. Oh, sorry. I also have to give the package name. Okay, I just clone this one, right? The master machine of the Jenkins as is, and I forgot to remove this, but that's okay. That's how we learn. And now let's see. I still do not have user. Okay, so now Jenkins user has created, I believe, and we also have home directory for the Jenkins. So now everything is set over here, but we need to provide the private key. So guys, remember in this what I'm doing now. Okay, pay attention on this. So whenever you are doing this configuration, it says private key, right? So basically what happened, where confusion arise when we do this setup. So we are actually adding agent, which agent, and this key is setting up for the agent one, that is remote server. So we always leave an impression, we need to create a SSH key and we need to put the private key over here. But which server, master or agent? What do you think? At least give me answer, guys, in the chat. Let's see. Okay, good, Pradeep. I mean, just what do you think? Based on the what I explained, there is no right or wrong. Okay, so remember, whenever you are doing this kind of configuration, right, this private key here you have to put for the master. Okay, because when master is going to communicate with agent, then it will find its pub private key on the agent. Okay, and based on that, it, because it has to validate, and how it can validate, by its private key. So this key will be used by the Jenkins, okay, on this server, and when it communicate with this one, our agent one, then it will find a public key, okay, on agent server, and that compares this key and this key, and then it's satisfied, verified, and all good. Okay, so let's first do this. So here, please pay attention to the sequence where we are executing. Okay, if you maybe watch later, you can see this one is Jenkins, okay, and this one, so this one is agent, right? So at the moment it is highlighted, okay, that's because I have selected this one and it is not. And when I go over here, so you can see the difference. So when you are going to simulate this or do the practice, so remember where we are executing which command, otherwise you will waste a lot of time, but that will be a kind of learning for you as well. So no worries at all. Let's go ahead and do next fun stuff. I already explained in very detail when we discuss our version control system, how you can create the SSH key, right? And you can integrate, I mean, you can put that key into your GitHub account. But if you use the same key, you will end up with troubleshooting. Okay, this is the exercise for you. Okay, the key which we already created before for GitHub, try to put the same private key in this, okay, and then public key on the remote server, and notice what error you will get. Okay, I know what will happen. Try it and record the error. That will really help you a lot, and that will be helpful to when we set up Docker thing, not Docker thing, when we set up a dynamic agent in Docker. So let's go ahead and see this one, what we are going to do over here. Let me increase the font. Okay, fine. So here, first thing first, we have to create a SSH key. So see, what do I have in SSH? So okay, I don't like this formatting. Let's go ahead and do like this. LRT and .ssh, where we will get everything. We have some keys we will create. So this is my one of the key already set up to integrate with the Jenkins, right? So again, I'm gonna create a new key, and I already talk in very detail, so I'm not gonna in that much detail again. So what I will do, I will simply do the SSH key and then Gen. Okay, just type word and hit tab, it will autocomplete. If you go ahead and do this, it will create key by default name, and I don't want that. So I will use -f, and I want to store the key dot SSH, and I want to give the name of this as a agent one. Okay, agent one Jenkins. That's it. Yes, empty, and we are done. And now let me clear the screen, and if I come back over here, I got the same file. One is public key, right? Another one is agent one. Let me simple do the less, and sorry, SSH, I always forgot, we are not over there. Agent one Jenkins, this is a private key, and you can see begin open private key, ends open private key. Okay, so it starts like this and ends like this. So remember, this is your private key. Last time I hidden, but that's not a good idea. Then I would not able to explain more details. And if I go over here, this is your public key. This is we are going to share. And ideally, you should not share this, or you should not show this key publicly. And you don't do this. Okay, so remember, but just to see what's the difference. So it says private key, begin and end. So we have to just copy this as is. If you are on Linux, Control Shift C. I'm on Mac, it's for me, it's a Command C. I have copied it over here, and I will put, make sure you don't put any of spaces. Okay, so you need to click on add, then this box is enabled for us to put. Okay, so you see my cursor is direct over here. There is no extra spaces. Okay, otherwise it is not gonna work. And similarly like this, and there was no passphrase. If you, when you're creating, if you provide, so just do it, but for me there is nothing. I have added this. Now I come back on the same screen, it says Jenkins agent. So you can see it's agent one, it's a description, it's showing agent one as a description with what I have given. Okay, and known host file verification strategy. Here let's quickly see. So manually provide verification. If you want to do that, do that. Manually trusted key verification, no verification strategy. Yes, I can select this one and go ahead, and it won't do anything. But Jenkins will give you, and that is also not a good practice to do. Okay, always do the verification. Okay, otherwise, if key is not verified, so man in the middle attack can be kind of a risk away. Okay, so of course it's a testing our lab, but still I always emphasize on security, right? And when we are doing, do it in a follow the best practices. Okay, now we are done with everything. Let's quickly check what happened. Agent one, description, number of executor one. This is home directory level. We will do this later. Use this node as much as possible. Launch agent via SSH. Here the host name. Here the private key details, and known host file verification strategy. That's completely fine. I apply save. So save, I mean apply, it means it just save the changes, but when you say save it, you will come back to the point where you were. Now I will say launch agent. Let me make a little bit bigger so we can see. SSH launcher host is this one. SS connection failed with IO exception. Key exchange was not finished. Connection closed, but we will get error somewhere here. Not here, here. Yes, here. I know exactly what error is, but still I need to be pretend I don't know. So here it says opening SSH connection for this again. So what happened? War libjenkins.ssh known host. No known host file was found, right? So what happened actually? So far we created and we copy this one and paste in the Jenkins, right? But that is not enough. What we have to do, we have to copy, right? We have to copy. It's a public key, because what happened in this process, what I wanted to show you, Jenkins is trying to or looking for a file. Okay, and it doesn't have any file. So here it is, look, it says okay, was found. It didn't find anything, because when you log in first time, so you already, here it says known host. And if we come over here, so here is my known host. So all the keys on known host will be stored in this one. That I'm not going to show, because it contains other things as well that I couldn't show you. But when you do on your system, once you, when you do SSH, it asks you, okay, do you want to add? So you said yes, and after that the entry goes in that, and after that you can do always SSH into your remote system. So that's what it is looking for. So there is no entry known host for this. So we never did this, so let's do and make it possible. So how we will do this? So we have another SSH command. Let me first clear the screen. It's the same control for me as well, Control L. So I will use command SSH copy ID, okay, dash I, then F. So in my case, what was the file name? Forgot again. Jenkins? No, not Jenkins. Let me first see. T-SSH. Okay, so agent one. Remember, you have to copy this public key, okay, not private key. Private key, when we copy, we have to put in Jenkins node configuration. Okay, so let me copy this again, paste it over here, and I will copy this one. Should I do this? No, I need to copy this one. Okay, so now this SSH command copy, no, okay, it has to copy this one, okay, this public key, but where it has to do, it has to do on agent system. So for agent, we have, so we know the rest command, SSH username @IP address. So here username is Jenkins agent one. What was the, let's quickly check, host name. Yeah, I forgot. So it's better to be late than the sorry, right? So okay, so this is the one, SSH copy ID if this one, but I think I did not set the password of the Jenkins, that I missed. So Jenkins user on remote system on this one. Let me clear one. This is my host name and I have to change the password. So simple, I will run this command and I give the username. Okay, so first it asks me for my password. It asks me for the new password. So new password of the Jenkins user. Okay, it is not gonna change your user password. So password has changed successfully. Now one more thing, let's see what we have over here. So authorized key. Okay, now I'm going to do this and it says okay, what I have done, app.pub, no such file or directory. Completely fine, fair enough. Okay, so okay, thank God it worked, otherwise it will be too embarrassing for me. Okay, so when we create SSH key, then we need to provide -f. Okay, in this case, I already in. If I am not, just focus on this one. We are talking about this one. I cannot clear the screen, otherwise I would not be able to explain you this one. So yeah, we don't need. If we not in this SSH one, then we have to provide path for this file. Okay, and but it's better to go in this directory and run this one. Then it says, do you want, are you sure you want to continue connecting? I said yes, go ahead. And now it's asking me for the Jenkins password. I provide, and it says number of keys added 1 here. Okay, and other information. So we have copied the key from here to Jenkins agent one local here cd. So this is our Jenkins, where our Jenkins is installed. And if I do this to the path var lib Jenkins, and what else, .ssh. So first we see what do we have. Okay, and to see, I need to execute this command. Okay, so you see we do not have like this .ssh directory over here. Okay, let me the font so you can see this. Okay, so basically we do not have SSH directory over here. So let me create a directory, -p. So it will create one directory in this, and then we will again check the log. Okay, I need to use sudo, and let's see what happened with this one. But okay, this is root, and if I go with this one, okay, it is also, it has a ownership as a root. So again, we need to change the ownership, and that's fine. Sudo ch on, then I have to recursive. So let's do one thing. Jenkins. Okay, here .ssh here. Okay, so let's first change this one. change ownership, and we want ownership of this to be Jenkins. Okay, and dot SSH. Now let's see, that's fine, and SSH. So now we have .ssh directory in Jenkins home directory. So I'll relaunch it. Let's wait. Meanwhile, guys, do you have any questions? Okay, this is what happened when we need to do troubleshooting. We have to do all this stuff, and that's how it works. Okay, so guys, still you can see we are still the same error. We have done so many things. We try to satisfy Jenkins, but it is not allowing us to add our agent with this one, right? And still, since then we are having the same thing. So here it says key exchange was not finished, but here it says it was not found. So we already created, and when we have this known host, right, when we do SSH, it's supposed to be automatically created. So far, whatever we have done, we have seen we created SSH key, and when we do SSH, known file should be stored somewhere and it should be there, but it says still it's not there, right? It says please ensure is created at this path that Jenkins can read it. Here the simple thing, last thing, and then it should work. Okay, so what happened when we did copy a key from here? So it asks us, right, are you sure you want to continue connect? Yes, we sure. We put all blah blah blah, but still it is not able to. So what we will do, I will have to copy paste. It's still on the Jenkins server. I will do sudo cp .ssh, and what was the error? Known host. Provide home, then SSH, and known host. So I copy from here and known host. Where I will copy this. So remember, okay, let me first make it simpler. I'm at my home directory. Here I have .ssh and all these keys, and I have known host over here. So when I when I copied the key, known host informations are over here. Okay, because I connected. So all details, all information is already stored in this. And here Jenkins is looking for the same. Maybe later on we will have kind of session for SSH server configuration, so you guys know more. But for now, this is the last thing we need to do. And what we need to do, we have to just copy this known host, and known host where we have to copy. We don't need to memorize where. Jenkins is very good. It let us know where you have to do. So we have to copy this over here. I will give it like this. Then this directory. So I have copied this. Now let's go back and see what happened. So again, connection has closed. I know, relaunch. Let's check the bar left and not secret. Okay, so now we have this is again problem, then it is not gonna work. And let's see what error do we have. Yeah, we got the exception, permission denied. What we have to do, again the same thing, ch on, but in this case, let me go over here, leave Jenkins. Yep, and I do it again. Okay, so now known host is also readable to the Jenkins. Let's see, let's manually launch it again. We have successfully connected, and it says here nodes agent, and it is online and in sync. So if you want to know more about it, go and check the logs. Okay, so always remember, whenever you are setting up and it is not working, go and read like this. It's searching for this one and searching for in this one. And if I did not copy, then when you will again end up, right, having like this one, searching for this agent. So in this it knows, and now this information, when we copy the key, we log in by the providing a password, then one entry made in this known host directory, right, file, and this entry has met for this one. And that's why now Jenkins is able to know, okay, this is the known user for me, and that's how it is connected. And now agent is successfully connected. I know we did a lot of troubleshooting, and I spent a lot of time over here because that's is important when we set up dynamic agent, so we know what happened, where we have to look for, what we need to do. Okay, so let me summarize what I have done very quickly. Very first thing, when you do it, don't do in the way which I showed you, because I plan to show you troubleshootings. Okay, so when you are gonna do, so first run this command hostname, then create user, and user should be Jenkins or whatever you like. I showed all these things, all basic stuff in previous section, so that's why I'm not explaining it again. Then this home directory, and we already have Jenkins home directory. I'll show you what happened over here after once we done this setup, right? Then once it is done, this many things you have to do it at agent. You do not need to create SSH key on the agent node, remember. Okay, now come over here, generate SSH key, right? Then copy SSH key. Which one? Public key, not private key. So copy, where you have to copy to remote. Our remote is agent 1. Okay, one more thing, sorry, here you need to, of course, you are gonna do set password Jenkins 1. Okay, you have to do it over here, and sorry, not here, I'm really sorry, here, agent, you have to do it over here. Then you have to copy private key and paste in the Jenkins. Jenkins, that's the step you have to perform. Okay, when you're ready with all these things, then come over here, nodes, and click on the new nodes, give the name, select the permanent one, create. Let me go back over here and show you the configuration. Then the home directory, okay, it's already there, label, we will use this letter. Then here, then we have to add go Jenkins, or if you could also go over here, let me show you. Once we created this, we will also having this one over here, so Jenkins agent, and you could see the agent 1 ID, right? So this is my, and you see I don't have any name over here, so that's why, that's how I remember, or I can refer this back. Okay, so this is the way. And after that, yes, click apply, save, and back, and then we are done. So let me leave it. And now, okay guys, I'll also give you this link, so here in chat you could use it. I will also post this link in our description when it is uploaded. So this is our repository, all our code is there, or the application. So now we have agent is there. So what we will do, we try to execute our job. So let's see. First, it's a configuration, very quick, but let me build it. Let's run once again. Okay, we are interested, we want to see it. So it is running on building remote on this one. We did not define any level. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do one thing. We already saw agent -1. So here, okay, I have put agent 1. Now let me apply. I'm not gonna exit, and I rerun it again. So let's see what happens. 26, 27, and yes, but again it is there. Yes, because this option, we say use this node as much as possible. As soon as I change, only build with label expression matching this node. So let me build it. Okay, agent 1 is reserved. Okay, is the same which we already saw previously. So this is, I believe, enough on Jenkins distributed magic. We have set up, we have seen the SSH thing. Yes, of course, Jenkins is not done yet. We have to do our pipeline thing, right? That is as per our roadmap. That would be day 5. But this is enough on the Jenkins we have set up. Similarly, you can also do setup for other nodes as well. For you, the exercise is remove the Jenkins. Okay, remove the agent. I quickly go ahead and delete the agent again and try to make it again. Let's say like this, and try to do practice as much as possible. In next session, we will be starting the pipeline, and we will do each and every kind of stuff with the pipeline. As a DevOps engineer, what we need to do, we have only set up our infrastructure at the moment. We haven't actually use or utilize the Jenkins in full power, right? So I also explained last time why do we need to freestyle job. It's a different purpose, but you will have to do things with the pipeline. And there are so many things, like when deployment could be happen on any of the branch. If what happen, if anything happen anywhere within your entire code, then job should be triggered automatically. When you have pull request, then job should be triggered automatically. Whole SCM is there, cron jobs are also there. So we will be doing all this thing in the pipeline. Okay, all these things, if you want to try, go ahead here. When you see in configuration, right, you also have discard build option, parameterized project. Try to do with the freestyle project. I'm not gonna spend much time on this, because these are the GUI thing. You can just go and see, and if you want to read more about it, just click on this question mark, it will give you. Okay, but all these things, all the options which are available in freestyle projects, freestyle job, when you do it with the pipeline, it's very tricky. Okay, sometimes really you know what you need to do, which plugin you need to know. Sometimes it happens when you install plugin, it will break something else in your system. Then you have to figure out, okay, what should I do? Then it spend a lot of time, right? So here it's a very simple GUI thing. You can click and select, and but in pipeline, this thing will be different. Okay, and bit tricky, but still great facilities comes with great complexity. Okay, so don't worry, we will start from very beginning, what pipelines are. Okay, what and how much you need to know about the coding of the pipeline. You are good when you know the Linux command, you are good with that. Okay, so those guys you join today, I don't know whether you watch on YouTube our last session video, or maybe other as well. So if not, so Linux part 3, okay, where we talk about all this command. And if you want to know basic things, it which is in part 1, and part 2 is dedicatedly for the DevOps, how DevOps use entire Linux. So that's, we spent really good amount of time. One session 3 hours, one is 2.5 hours, and another one is 2.5 hours. So that is enough. We spent time on the Linux part. Okay, that's it on this part. I have deleted this. Next time I will show you. This is just a 5 minutes work, just a 5 minutes work, and we talk on this entire time only for this, because this is really important for our, and especially when you go in Kubernetes and you are doing in containerized based environment, and you really don't know how SSH thing works. Okay, everywhere you cannot put the password. This time I copied the key manually. Next time I will show you how you can do this automatically way. Okay, before wrap up, I would like to ask you, do you have any questions, or any questions what we have talked today or in previous section? Any doubt? Yes, Pradeep, it's completely true. Practice is a key, right? Otherwise, there is no point. So whatever you are doing, just gonna rest. So yes, you need to do practice. And before you start with this, like, I know you guys definitely gonna watch it again once we upload this. But yes, now at least our brain is strict. We attended, we leave this time, right? So we know what we have talked in this session. But when you watch it before going to do that, I run one command in this uh, Jenkins remove purge, right? So I completely remove it from the system. So before going to do this, at least 2-3 times, okay, remove Jenkins from your system. Okay, and then again reinstall and configure, do 3-4 times at least. Okay, and try in different way. That will really help you when you go for this thing as fine. Okay, so very good. Okay, so Sagar, you joined today, but I'll talk with you. I will also add you in a group. If there is no questions, then I will say this is the contact details. And so thank you very much for your time, your patience, and we see each other next week, and we will start with pipeline. So that will be day 5. Okay, sir. Then happy weekend, and see each other next week, and you will get this recording 3-4 hours. Then enjoy.